All right. Hello. I am just busy as a bee this morning. Man, I slept most of the day yesterday, and so I am up, but I got a feeling I'm getting ready to crash in a few. I wanted to come and speak to you guys about something really, really important. And we got to talk about this because being that I am an empath, okay, I tend to get extremely close to my clients, okay, as far as with, gauging how you feel, some of the things that you're going through. In fact, when you're taking your spiritual baths, I'm actually monitoring you from a distance as far as with your feelings and your thoughts and your perceptions. And every once in a while, I have an issue with a client, and I want to talk to you guys about this seriously because here's the thing. More than likely, the SSRIs that you are taking are going to have dangerous side effects, and I'm actually going to share a video with you guys about this. And first of all, it's not Jamila's fault. So, I think that sometimes when people come to me, they expect me to solve all of their issues overnight, and that's not what happens. Okay. And so what I've found is that some of the clients that I've worked with that are on any kind of medications, they tend to get very agitated very quickly. And it is a cause for concern. But again, it's not my concern necessarily if you choose to put those substances in your body. Okay, so I want to show you guys a video, and then I'm going to talk about the discussion that I want to have with you guys as far as when you come to get my services, it's probably best for you to be um, open to taking much more of a naturopathic approach to whatever depression that you're dealing with. For example, if I feel a little down or depressed, I'll take some St. John's wort. I'll take some calendula, some lavender, some mugwort, but I work with herbs, okay? So you can't come to an herbalist and then complain about the side effects of your medication, and then you start to have perception issues because literally, and I'm gonna share a video with you guys, which is one of the reasons why I don't really like to work with clients that are taking medications like that. Okay, so let's talk. Because literally, just recently, I had a client, and this client uh, told me that she was taking some SSRIs, and it was literally, she took her spiritual bath. I did her ritual. I think I went to sleep that night, and I didn't get back with her fast enough. And the next thing I knew, she was blowing up my inbox, telling me that I was ignoring her. It was literally like the next day. My clients never do that, never. So I don't know what was going on. I mean, even if it is a YouTube troll, YouTube trolls do need help. Okay, they need spiritual help, and they probably need mental help as well. Some of you guys, I can't help you, especially if you're on those medications, because those medications tend to fuck with your perception. And so I am going to share a very informative video with you guys about those medications, okay? Give me a second. Let me get it queued up here. And yeah, let's get started on this discussion real quick. Yep, here it is right here. All right, I'm going to share screen. I'm not going to, It is a 7-minute video. I guess I could download it and it would make the audio a lot better. Give me a second. I'm going to download it and hopefully I don't get copyrighted. If I do, I will just, ooh, whoops. Sorry, y'all. I lit up a charcoal and oof, it went straight into my eyes. Okay. I'm going to download the video. That way we can have better audio. But I want y'all to listen to this video. And I know that this video is not your doctor. I believe that he's a depression counselor. And he's talking about akathisia, which is an intense inner restlessness brought on as a side effect of medication. Okay. And, you know, and then I'll share my own story as far as being on an antidepressant for anxiety years ago. But I want y'all to listen to this video and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Hello, my name is Douglas Block. I'm an author and depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's talk is A Deadly Side Effect of Antidepressants. Despite this grim title, I always like to start off with a little humor. And here it is. A doctor gave a patient 6 months to live. The patient couldn't pay his bill, so the doctor gave him another 6 months. So let's talk about today's topic. As you know, in this channel, I talk about treating your depression and anxiety holistically by using a combination of mutually supportive therapies. One of the most common therapies used is the taking of an antidepressant, which is the treatment of choice for most psychiatrists and family doctors. If you went to your shrink or your primary care physician and said you were feeling down and blue, he or she would most likely prescribe an antidepressant, and in some cases the drug will help. But there is a darker shadow side of antidepressants that until recently has not been well publicized. It's called akathisia, and until recently it hasn't been well publicized. I'm going to read a passage from my book, Healing from Depression, that shows how akathisia manifests and how it happened in my life when I took an SSRI antidepressant. Like epileptic seizures, a series of frenzied anxiety attacks would descend upon me without warning. My body was possessed by a chaotic, demonic force, which led to my shaking, pacing, and violently hitting myself across the chest or in the head. The word agitation was the closest I could come to describing the feeling of wanting to jump out of my skin. To give you a second example of akathisia, I want to refer to a New York Times article that just came out. It was called "Lawsuit Over a Suicide Points to a Risk of Antidepressants." The article tells a tragic story of a Chicago lawyer who took an SSRI antidepressant, developed akathisia, and 5 days later jumped in front of a train to his death. The night before, he was having dinner with his wife, and he was so agitated he was jiggling his legs under the table and could hardly sit still. I read this and I jumped up myself because this is exactly what was happening to me when I would sit down to eat with my partner Joan. My legs would go up and down, up and down, up and down. I couldn't sit still. I had the exact same symptom. In addition, a nonprofit foundation called MISSD has been created, whose purpose is to raise awareness and educate the public about akathisia and how to prevent it. I went into this much detail in describing akathisia because when I first experienced it in 1996, it was not a diagnosable condition. I remember my psychiatrist telling me, that's impossible. You can't be this agitated after taking this antidepressant in a small dose only once. But he was wrong. I was agitated. I felt I was going crazy, actually, because first I was crazy, and second, no one would believe me. Yet that agitation almost caused me to jump in front of a bus or leap off of a cliff. Fortunately, as I describe in my memoir, actually not my memoir, my video, How I Cope with Suicidal Thoughts and Feelings, I didn't jump off a cliff because I was afraid of heights. A little bit of dark humor there. But it was only through the grace of God that I actually survived this time because, again, there was nothing that anybody could do about my condition. Many years later, I finally came across an article published by a pharmaceutical company that defined akathisia, warned doctors that it was a possible side effect of antidepressants and said it was a potential risk for suicide. In fact, the drug pharmacist wrote that the symptoms are so distressing that patients may feel that death is a welcome result.
Mhm.
And what I want to know is what took them so long to get at this information. After hearing me describe the dangers of akathisia, you might think that I am recommending that nobody take antidepressants. This is not true because I have found actually a safe way of trying out antidepressants that greatly reduces the risk of akathisia. The technique is called titrating, and it was introduced to me by a psychiatrist up at Oregon Health Sciences University, our local medical school. Titrating is really very simple. Let's say that a psychiatrist prescribes you Paxil at a starting dose of 10 milligrams. What you do is you get a pill cutter and simply cut it in half. Now you have 2 doses of 5 milligrams.
Okay, now I'm not going to continue the video because I don't support that. So let me talk about what I want to talk about here. Okay, so everybody knows that if you get on an antidepressant, you are at a high risk of suicide because of akathisia. Okay, now years ago, I was an anxiety sufferer. I also suffered from panic attacks and agoraphobia. And I was put on 50 milligrams of Zoloft. I started at 25 milligrams, and then I stepped up to 50 milligrams. I was only on it for maybe 3 months. And, something told me to just get off of it. I'm not a medication type of person anyway. But for years after taking that medication, I would get these brain zaps to where this electricity would just run through my brain. And I believe that my body is probably still detoxing from that, even though it was more than 10 years ago. Okay. Now, I am not a naturopath doctor. I don't have any certification whatsoever. Okay. But what I can tell you is that clients that are on medications that they may not be responding to very well, they can be very agitatable. And first of all, this is coming from a new client that claimed that she had had a consultation last year. I don't even remember or had any record of that. But in the 20 minutes that I spoke to her on the phone was when I did the exorcism incantation on her. And then we began the cleansing process. Now, first of all, if you are depressed or having suicidal thoughts, these are low spirits that are on you. This is what I believe in. If you are seeing a doctor or a psychiatrist and you don't agree with that, you probably don't want to come and get services through me. I am not going to tell somebody, especially this client actually told me about the medication. She told me about the medication, but I believe that she had expressed disdain for the medication. And I told her, I said, well, those medications are not good for you. I never told her to get off of the medication. I just told her that they weren't good for anybody because of the risk of suicide. What those medications do is they will make a person extremely numb to the point where the part of their brain that functions to self-preservation, it seems like it some of those medications, especially something like Paxil. If you go and you look on YouTube and look at all of the people that are addicted to Paxil, they call it the devil. they literally call it the devil. Okay. So sometimes when you guys are even on that medication, I can tell that you're on it. And it's all it does is it causes you to repress a lot of things. And so it's not up to me who and who should not be on medication. But I have found that clients that are on medication sometimes, like this doesn't happen very often to me, but the last time I had a client that was taking antidepressant medication, I think was on the verge of this whole thing that he was talking about. I think that you should absolutely be very careful, but I would never tell anybody to not take their medication. Now, coincidentally, the same day that I was having issues with this client, I got another review the same exact day. I'm going to share a screen with you guys. Okay. So this is what the client had to say. Client was going through a lot. And she posted, this is not the same client. This is a client that I'm good with. Okay. But she says, Jamila is a true empath and healer. She really taps into your situation during her readings, and her abilities at magic I can't even put into words. She healed my PTSD, and I feel like my life has been restored to me. I can't thank her enough. Okay. The same day, this other client was having a very different experience. Was it Jamila's fault? No. I didn't tell you to go and take those medications. Okay. And see, also with the spiritual bathing that you do, the spiritual bath is actually probably going to detox your body of those medications. So you may not want to come to me if you have already started taking medication. And so what I found is that the client is extremely delusional, extremely agitated, extremely difficult to deal with. And then at the same time, I think trying to light candles on me, which is very bizarre. Needless to say, I hope that this client comes around as far as with the issue with me, because literally it was the 22nd. I was working on both clients at the same time. It was on July the 22nd, and literally the next day, like I was actually getting ready to get up in the morning and update her on her case. Literally, she had just placed her order. And I think it took like 3 or 4 days for the order to even go through, and Etsy let it go through because at first it went into processing, which usually those orders don't go through, but it did go through. And so it was like literally, I'm a very busy person, and she got very agitated with the fact that I had not gotten back to her yet. So that's why I believe that that is the issue with her, is that those medications are causing her to be sort of impatient. Okay. Needless to say, my treatments as a spiritualist that I give to people, especially because I work with people with anxiety and depression all the time, my treatments are more of a natural approach. They are not going to involve medication. I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe you medication. So I can't unprescribe medication. If you make a decision to get off of your medication, that's on you. And then the client just really just, I mean, it's been like it's just been crazy, because essentially the client obviously is having some side effects from her medication and then yelling at me about it, which I didn't prescribe those meds to her. So I don't understand why she's doing that. Needless to say, what I wanted to say about the situation is that if you are on antidepressants, you need to let me know that you're on these medications. I would appreciate if you guys would disclose it to me. Listen, probably about 99% of my clients would never go to a doctor to get prescribed those medications. They just wouldn't do it. They would be more inclined to see a spiritualist because that's what they believe in. And that's what works. Okay? That's what works. And, you know, a lot of times people will get on these highly addictive medications when, you know, you're supposed to be a little sad after you have a death in your family. You're supposed to kind of be depressed, you know, and I'm not saying because this is you know, and first of all, I'm not worried about being sued or anything. Just to let y'all know, I don't worry about stuff like that because it will never happen to me. But the sheer inconvenience of clients that don't want to take responsibility for their own self, this is your decision. When you go to my website and place an order, you are making a decision to do that. Now, if you are on those medications, another thing that I noticed is that it makes it extremely difficult to perceive things as they are supposed to be perceived. And they actually, I know y'all don't like my movie references, but if y'all remember The Exorcism of Emily Rose, they kept medicating her and her condition got worse, probably because of the medication. So when you come to me, you already know that you're not coming to see a doctor. I never advertise myself as a doctor, ever. And I never would. Okay. You have to be prepared to get the naturopathic advice that I'm going to give you. Am I going to tell you, oh, stop taking your medication? Never, never. I think that maybe the entities that were in this person, or maybe her angels, was telling her to stop taking the medication. I just told her that the meds are not good for you, and they weren't doing her any good because she was still depressed. Okay? You are responsible for what you put into your body. I am not your babysitter. I have said this before. Whatever decisions that you make are your decisions. Now, you know, I don't care about you opening up some kind of case against me with Etsy. I don't care about that. Like, that doesn't scare me because I already know what it is. I already know that it's obviously your bad spirits that you don't want to deal with, and you're taking it out on me. Especially when literally your cleansing candle was only a fourth of a way burned down. So I had just lit the candle, like literally the next day, did your cleansing ritual at the day that I told you. And the same day that it was supposed to have been done, she began to flip out on me. Okay. I am not a psychologist. I am not a psychiatrist, and I am not a doctor. Okay. What I am is an empath, and I'm a healer. It's what I do. If you want to go to the doctor, you can't serve two different gods. You need to pick a path. If you're going to take the temple path, if you're going to take the natural path, then take it. If you're going to take those medications, it is out of my hands. Because clearly what's happening, and I had to stop her work, and I'm not going to be inconvenienced this way. I'm not. Because the first thing that I cleanse is your crown and your third eye. Okay, and it's probably just something Probably she just going through something right now. I bet you she's going to come back and apologize, because my spirits don't play that. Because, for you to put a dangerous medication in your body and to come and try to take it out on Jamila, that's not cool. You need to say how you're feeling. I feel delusional. I feel scared. I'm having anxiety. And then obviously, I can tell when you haven't taken your spiritual bath. I can tell when you have not done what you're supposed to do. Needless to say, if you are in a place where you are so depressed that you feel that you need to be medicated, you probably should not be seeing a spiritualist. And let me just tell you, this client just went to the website and purchased. She didn't have a consultation, which I've had people do that before. I usually require them to purchase a consultation because it includes a reading. Probably would have found out that it wasn't the best thing for her, but I'm not going to refuse and turn away somebody no matter how bad your spirits are, because I'm not afraid of your demons. Trust me, I have dealt with some bad ass demons. Trust me. Not to mention the sacrifice that I made for this client, because the night after I did her cleanse, that night, all of her energy came rushing towards me, and it was very uncomfortable. So I could see why she had medicated herself. And I had to get in a bathtub. It was terrible. If that's how those medications are making y'all feel, you need to get the hell off of them. And I think that that's the issue with the client, is that she's having a dangerous side effect to that medication, and you can't take that out on me. Okay, now there are prayers, maybe she needs another incantation. Okay, there are sometimes clients will immediately respond to the exorcism incantation, and they'll say, "Oh my God, I feel so good. I feel so good. Like what is this?" But see, maybe she had another entity that we needed to exorcise. I'm not going to touch her until she's out of that mode. I don't do that. When you get to the point where you can apologize to me and show me some respect, that's when I'll continue to help you. Otherwise, when you start coming at me and you start causing issues, and then also I believe that she was throwing shit at me too. But you still need help. Even if you're a troll on YouTube that comes to me and gets a freaking cleanse, and you flip out like that, and you've been stalking or trolling me, you still need help. How the hell am I supposed to know? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of clients and what their energy can do, because I've already been through hell and back. I've been through shit y'all don't even want to know about. And I'm a miracle walking around here today. I am a miracle. Okay. So I already know. I believe in everything that I talk about. I believe in it. So I don't have those issues. Okay. And I have been through some shit. I have in my life. Shit that would probably drive you up a wall. That I've been working on myself for the past 5 or 6 years, doing cleanses on myself. Okay. So I do not make any bones about my thoughts and opinions of antidepressant medications. And it's my right to have an opinion. You don't have to listen to me, do you? If you come to my channel and I tell you don't get the jab, and then you don't get the jab, and then you die something of something, and you can't blame that on me because you have to follow your own intuition about the situation, don't you? So at the end of the day, my advice you don't have to take, but when you come to me and you say, help me, then that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So just to let y'all know, I do not advise some people. Now, some people, you probably need some kind of sedative or something. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some people that do need that kind of sedation or whatever. You know, I can't judge other people based upon me and what my body chemistry is. Okay, I just lost my mother last month and I'm not depressed. I went through grieving, but depression, no, because I have a better understanding of death. Okay, I went through it. Oh, I want my mama. Where my mama? I went through that, feeling lost for a minute without my mama. You know what I did? I did a seance. So many of you guys would probably, you know, and I try to tell you guys, well, then this would help you if you were to connect to her. I did a seance on my mother probably about a month and a half ago. Okay, helped her out and everything, burned some ancestor money for her and everything. So if you are the type of person that, you know, relies upon modern medicine, then more than likely I can't help you. Now, there's some of you guys, y'all have had surgeries, y'all, there's a lot of my clients that are on blood pressure medicine. Okay, so a lot of y'all are on these medications, and so I don't have anything against you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about antidepressants. Now, I'm not even going to talk about blood pressure medicine. I know that my mother was on blood pressure medicine and she died anyway. I'm not going to get into my opinion of medical doctors sometimes. I think that it depends on your bloodline. I think that those medications that my mother was taking, that's what took her out. I truly and firmly believe in that. Okay. And you can't change my beliefs. You're never going to change my beliefs because I know what works for me and what has worked for thousands of people. Okay. These are, I have helped to date thousands of people. So, and I'm sorry, 1 out of 1,000 or 3 out of 1,000, you're not discouraging me or my spirits. Okay. So you got to understand that those medications are not good for your brain. First of all, if you're going through some kind of grieving, you know, you're going to be sad after somebody passes away or you have some sort of issue. I know that there's some women that get extremely depressed after miscarriage. It's a lot of stuff that happens. A lot of stuff that can happen to you to make you depressed. A lot of stuff, you know, the everything that's going on in the world can make you sad and depressed. But, you know, I have been a voice as much as possible. You know, I've told y'all how to uplift the spirits in your house. I've told you how to clear the air in your house. I've taught y'all how to do that already. And it seems like to me that those people that listen to me, they do good. The people that don't, they don't do well. And it's not that I want it that way. If you feel like, Jamila, you're crazy, I'm going to take my 300 milligrams of Paxil or whatever the hell they give it to y'all in, fine. But if those medications start giving you side effects to where you can't wait 24 hours to hear back from your spiritualist, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you would think that the medications, if you're taking them for anxiety or depression, that they would calm you down. And then some of y'all are taking medications and you're self-medicating with alcohol, which is really not good either. Okay? Doctors, they treat symptoms. If you go in and you're depressed, they may even look at your brain. They'll say, hey, your brain is not kicking off on certain areas. You know, you need a SSRI reuptake or whatever it is. And when you come here, from my perspective of it, you have spiritual parasites on your brain, or you may have spirits that are hovering above your head. So you can see that I'm quite different than a doctor. You knew I wasn't a doctor when you contacted me. And I'm not trying to make you feel inadequate for being on those meds at all. Okay, you do what is right for you. But I wanted to alert y'all that some of y'all, I've seen people on these medications that are having those symptoms. I actually saved somebody's life and she didn't even appreciate it. Was sitting on the phone with her. She said, I'm getting ready to go run around in traffic. I said, no, don't do that. Okay, and the hell that she's put me through the past several months, I still don't regret it. It's who I am. I'm not a bad person. Okay. So, you know, that's typically how people treat me. They come to me, they use me up during their darkest hour, and then they go and spit in my fucking face. Do I get sad about that? Hell no. That's the way of the world. I've been observing this world and people in it since I was a baby. So a lot of people, when they come to you and they got these kind of problems and then they come back and they try to bite you in the ass, it's like, well, you know what? There's always 1 in 10 chance that you're going to fucking do that. Is that my problem? No, it's not. So if you decide that you're mentally ill and that my services are not going to be good for you, I'm not going to issue you a refund just because you had buyer's remorse. I'm not going to do that. So it's not going to happen. Okay. In fact, let me show y'all something real quick. And none of my clients ask me for refunds. I don't go through that. But let me show y'all on here. And it's just as simple as this. It's just as simple as this. Okay. All right. Hold on. And I stick by people. I hold people's hands. I've had people say some god awful things to me. I've had those demons that are on y'all say horrific things to me. Some of y'all spirits will jump up and be like, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, well, no, you're not going to do that. But, you know, hold on. I'm trying to find where it's at. Give me a second, because this may have some sensitive information right here. And if you want to get off of those medications, because I personally think, well, I'm like, well, I never told you to get off your medication. If you want to, then go ahead. Hold on, I'm going to try to find my terms of service here. Because it's definitely here somewhere. All right, hold on. It should be in my shop. You should be able to see. I don't know why it's not showing. Hold on, let me scroll up. There it is. Sorry, I gave up too soon. Hold on, I didn't scroll all the way down. Okay, so you see this right here? This says, I don't accept returns, exchanges, or cancellations, but please contact me if you have any problems with your order. But I don't offer refunds. Okay, so that's what that means. That's how they word it on here, because Etsy gives you like a choice. Do you offer refunds or you don't? That's what's on there. Okay. Okay, so cancellations doesn't matter. Okay, so probably what will happen usually in that case, if that happens, is your money will go into trust, and when you are ready for your cleanse, because she ordered a planetary cleanse and it's a lot going on planetary. Hey, Nyan, then what you can do is you can just come back when you're ready. In fact, some of y'all, I'll have y'all bathe for a few weeks before I even start the cleanse. And she was like, did you start on it? Did you start on it? And it was literally like less than 24 hours. And see, when clients are doing that, I already know they're going to be an issue. And see, I was very busy during that time. Like it was literally a matter of 24 hours that, within that time, she wasn't even giving us time to even, my goodness. So usually when clients do that, I let them know, I say, hey, calm down and be patient. Okay, don't rush me. But I think that she had emailed me. If you email me and I don't get back with you until the next day, that just is what it is. I can't email you right away all the time. I'm busy. You are not my only client. When you come and pay for work, you're not my only client. And see, I think sometimes when people do that, sometimes when people think that they're my only client, sometimes I think that you are a troll, because a lot of the trolls, they believe ain't nobody coming to her to get no work done. That's on you. If you think that, you're going to have to wait. If I tell you to wait, be patient, that's what I mean. Okay. So it's not a whole lot that you can do when my policy is no refunds, and I'm not going to feel bad for it. You're not going to make me feel guilty, especially when I started the work for her. The cleanse was already done. Now she feeling better and she coming back to it, and now she wants something for free. Why should I have to work for free? Do you work for free? Does the doctor that prescribed you that dangerous medicine, do they work for free? No. So, it's just absolutely preposterous. But yeah, I do help people that have diagnosed mental illnesses. Hell yeah, I got a lot of people that diagnose bipolar, schizophrenia, suicidal, anxiety, depression. Okay, I've helped a lot of different clients that have those things, and they're usually very happy. They're usually not being medicated. See, society, y'all believe that getting help or even helping yourself is becoming medicated, while you repress and be in denial about your emotions that you need to deal with. That is what people want everything to be in a magical pill. We don't do magic pills over here. There is no magic pill that a doctor can describe you that's going to solve all of your issues. And so y'all think, oh, I'm going to take this medication, and the next thing you know, you got a cabinet full of medications and you're still sick. And I know damn well that's what we're dealing with. And sometimes I catch the side effects from y'all meds. I be catching the side effects from y'all medications sometimes, just from talking to you on the phone. I be like, what the hell is that? I'm not knocking you for being on medication, But you have to tell me. And so with that client, I would have preferred for her to take a bath before we even talk on the phone, because the energy was, oh, her energy was so toxic. Okay. But because of my love for people and because of my willingness to help people, I know how to shield myself from that energy. Okay, because trust me, I've dealt with worse demons than hers. Okay, and I've been through some shit before. Okay, especially being a spiritualist. And I do offer cleanses and hex removals. You know what I'm saying? And it's just every once in a while I get a client at least once per year, probably because I see so many people. So luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be statistically, it's gonna be some issues. But again, y'all remember last year when I was telling y'all about that client that had went off on me and was, it was a male client. He actually had texted me telling me happy Mother's Day and stuff. And so, a lot of my clients that take their shit out on me, they usually come back and they apologize. I can't sit up here and then when you're trying to open cases on me and shit, I'm going to completely shut down because now you're trying to do harm to me. So, and it's not that big of a deal, honestly, because it's a case that I'm going to win. My shop policy is no refunds or cancellation. So there's nothing you can do about that. And if you want to sit there and whine and bitch and moan, that's fine with me. I don't mind y'all contacting me later and saying, Jamila, I apologize for what I did. Can we continue the work? What I do in that case is I ask my spirits. If they say no, then, I'll have you cleanse yourself. So a lot of y'all need those spiritual baths. Those are pivotal. They are so important because you'd be surprised how helpful those spiritual baths are. They're really good. I know that I have been trying to stay ahead of the game by taking them, and I got to get me some Epsom salt over here tonight because I'm taking them every day. I will be bathing daily. Okay, because especially right now, goodness gracious. Okay. So just to warn y'all about those medications, man, they fuck people up. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. And then also sometimes during the cleansing process, y'all demons will pop up. So that happens. I've had that happen with at least 3 clients, and they all came back and said, Jamila, I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. This is true. These are facts. It ain't no cap. I've had this happen to where when I start cleansing you, people start getting paranoid. They start getting delusional, and all of a sudden, Jamila, what are you doing to me? And I'm like, are you okay? So it'll unearth itself. You guys' demons will unearth themselves. I just recently went through it with somebody that I know personally. Cleansed them, and all of a sudden it was like a bear attack. I was like, whoa, why you doing this to me? Okay. And then some of y'all that are older, some of y'all that have gotten a little bit older, the longer you hold on and let those demons squat inside of you, the harder it is to and let me just get this straight. As far as when it comes to demons, we're talking about demons that are going to make you do harm to yourself or others is what we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about what y'all think, demon meaning, So, and I'm a little confused about those of you that hover over my channel and you don't like any of my videos. Again, you can leave this channel. I'm not holding you here. I had somebody last year that tried to accuse me of holding her hostage. I was like, girl, I ain't never told you no crap like that. Especially no woman. Now, if you a man, I might try to hold a man hostage. I might handcuff you to the bed. No, I'm joking, y'all. I know that's unprofessional. That's why I call myself the unprofessional high priestess. Shit, I'm a fucking spiritualist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fucking, I'm a fucking person, and my clients fucking love me. So that's why I ain't gonna never change for nobody. Okay. So talking to me is like talking to your best friend. I'm usually a very good friend to people. People don't want to let me go. They're like, I don't want to let you go. It's like sometimes you got to, because sometimes you got to let go, It depends, okay? So anywho, that's my discussion on that. But no, I'm not going to tell you to get off of your medication. Like, that's not what I do. And that's a total lie. And I don't care what you say, my readings are always being recorded as well. So, and it's usually doesn't even have to go there though. Like I don't go through that. I don't. And, my spirits are very kind. What I did was I sent an angel guide to the client. I sent her an angel guide to, lead her back to some kind of normalcy. But yeah, as a spiritualist, sometimes my clients do take their shit out on me, I have been deemed the fucking punching bag. It just seemed like people just, when it comes to their issues and their problems, they just seem to let it all out on fucking Jamila. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck it is. And it doesn't make me feel any type of way about self at all. Okay. Anywho, I hope y'all enjoyed this discussion. Hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. I don't care. Come over here and just thumbs down whenever you feel like it. If that's therapeutic for you, damn it, then do what you got to do. I don't even care. Okay? That's your call. But what I can tell you is that the cleanses, they used to be called the aura etheric cleanse. Now my spirit's upgraded to a deep soul cleanse. So I don't know why they decided to do that, but they just recently switched it to deep soul cleanse. So we doing some deep cleansing. Okay. And then especially when you get the planetary cleanse, that anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Again, some natural ways of fighting depression: St. John's wort, lavender, skull cap will help with your anxiety. In fact, I have been trying to find, I'm going to get me some skull cap. We didn't have any in stock. Thank you, Outer League. Thank you. I appreciate you guys' support. I need it. It's not easy, It's not sometimes, but I'll get through it. You know what I'm saying? So, but you don't even have to drink these herbs. You can just burn them. You can just burn them. Calendula will uplift your spirits, but calendula is really good when you put it in your bath. I tell you, if you don't have one thing, if you don't have any herbs, go to the grocery store and get you some white or some red roses. Throw that in the bathtub with you. But much more, y'all, some of y'all need basil, thyme, bay leaf, rosemary, pennyroyal, nettle, stinging nettle leaf. These are all herbs. The ones that I mentioned will exorcise you of negative entities. Okay. And if you guys need guidance, if you are a client and you need guidance on the spiritual baths, that's why I'm available by Zoom. Now, I was kind of suspicious of this person because this person did not want to Zoom me. And I might make that policy for new people. I got to see you on Zoom. And usually people don't have that issue. I'm going to be looking at you side-eyed if you can't Zoom with me. Okay? And that's where we're at video chat where I can see you and you can see me. Okay? And you can see your cards too when I pull your cards. For this client, I didn't pull any cards. We just went straight, and she claimed that she had a reading last year. Maybe she did. She probably did. And she came and, so it is what it is. Okay. Good luck to everybody. Have a happy Sunday, and I will see y'all later. Okay. All right. Peace and love to y'all. Bye-bye.